Today we are digging into the story of a man who made some of the most, well, frankly, unbelievable claims in ancient history. A monk whose life, when you first hear about it, seems completely and utterly impossible. Our story starts with a number, 80. For 80 years, a monk by the name of Bakkula lived a life of such incredible discipline that his record is, even thousands of years later, just astonishing. So let's run through his claims. It all starts with his health. For 80 straight years, he says he was never, not once, sick. But it gets way more specific than that. I mean, listen to the way he puts it. It's not just, I was never sick. He claims he never felt ill, not even for a moment, not even for the short time it takes to milk a cow. And believe me, the list of these impossibilities just keeps on going. For 80 years, he said he never once used a knife to cut the cloth for a robe. He also never accepted a specific invitation for a meal. He only ever ate what was offered to him on his daily alms round. But all of these things, as incredible as they sound, they're nothing compared to his last, most mind-blowing claim. Get this. For 80 years as a monk, Bakkula says he cannot recall a single sensual thought ever arising in his mind. Now, is that even humanly possible? Or is it possible that something really important is getting lost in translation? And that question, right there, that's the heart of the problem we're tackling today. When we read these ancient texts, are we really hearing what they meant to say, or are we just listening to a kind of distorted echo? So, do we take Bakkula's words literally, like he was some kind of superhuman, or could it be that the words themselves meant something totally different back then, something much, much deeper? Think about it like this. You make a photocopy, right? Then you photocopy that copy. And then you photocopy that copy. After a while, the image gets faded, blurry. You're left with just a ghost of the original. That's kind of what can happen to the meaning of words over centuries. So how do we get back to that original, crisp image? We need a method. We need a way to decode these ancient texts, to peel back all those layers of modern interpretation and find the root of what was being said. And we're going to use a special 3-step method to do just that. First, we'll look at the text through the modern lens. That's your standard, everyday translation. Then we're going to crack the root code to find the word's true original function. And finally, we'll uncover the visual truth, which is a powerful metaphor that makes the real meaning click into place. All right, let's put this method to the test. We're going to apply it to Bakkula's most mind-bending claim and see if we can finally solve this ancient mystery. Okay, so the key Pali term here is kamasanya. The standard translation is what you'd expect, sensual thought or sensual perception. But is that really what it means? Let's find out. And here it is. This is the breakthrough. Through that modern lens, we get sensual perception, a thought just popping into your head. But when we crack the root code, the picture changes completely. We get the hook of sensation. So what's the difference? It all boils down to one crucial word, sanya. Ancient linguists had this amazing tool for this kind of deep dive. It's called niruti, and it reveals that sanya isn't the raw feeling and it isn't the thought about the feeling. No, it's the mental process of recognizing it, of labeling it. It's that first little mental tag your brain creates that says, hey, I like this, or I don't like that. It's the tiny mental twitch that actually gets hooked. So here's a great way to visualize it. A thought or a sensation can appear in your mind. That's like seeing a fishhook glittering in the water. But sanya, that's the act of your mind biting down on that hook, getting caught on the line and being pulled away by it. What Bakkula was saying, it seems, is that he never got caught on the line. So now that we understand this, we can create our visual truth, a really powerful modern image that captures that original ancient meaning perfectly. I want you to imagine Bakkula's mind as a perfectly still lake, like a mirror. A sensation, a sound, a sight, any feeling is like a pebble dropping into it. Now, for most of us, that pebble creates ripples, right? Ripples of thought, of desire, of reaction. But Bakkula's mind was so profoundly serene that the pebble just sank. It created no ripple, no sanya at all. So what this means is that Bakkula's incredible achievement wasn't about constantly fighting off thoughts and desires. It was about cultivating a state of inner peace so deep that the mental hook of sensation just never even formed. He saw the hook in the water, but he never bit. Okay, so why does a story from 2,500 years ago matter to us right now? Well, because it tells us something absolutely fundamental about the language we use to construct our own reality. If we boil it all down, Bakkula's story teaches us three huge things. First, words, even simple ones, have hidden layers we rarely see. Second, really understanding something isn't just about translating, it's about an act of discovery. And third, and maybe most importantly, Bakkula shows us that true power doesn't come from controlling our actions, but from cultivating our inner state. And this isn't just about ancient texts. The words you and I use every single day, words like love, success, happiness, they all have a surface meaning, and they all have a deeper root code. They carry these hidden assumptions that we almost never stop to question. So that leaves us with a final thought. We just decoded Bakkula's sensual thought. But what are the words you're using every day at face value? What incredible things might you discover if you decided to decode the hidden meanings that are quietly shaping your world?